What is the best RPG game ever made? Skyrim is a game I've been playing ever since I could fit a controller in my hands, and I think it takes the #1 spot. Skyrim is one of the best games ever created, and although it certainly doesn't do everything perfectly, the culmination of all these things creates one of the best gaming experiences ever made. In this video, I'll be going over the reasons I think why that is. One of the most important things about an RPG is immersion. Feeling like you're actually in the world the game is presenting to you. Skyrim's world is unmatched in this regard. For the sake of the argument, do me a favor and close your eyes, just for a moment, and listen. When I hear this, I don't feel like I'm at a computer playing a video game. I feel like I'm outside in the real world. And it's amazing that a video game, a 15-year-old video game for that matter, could pull that off. Skyrim's environments are so well crafted and attention-grabbing. These places are just otherworldly enough to pique your interest and familiar enough for you to stay and look. Through every playthrough of Skyrim, I always find myself stopping what I'm doing to admire the beautiful landscapes and skies that the Bethesda team created. Skyrim is old, very old, but the one thing that will never show its age is the scenery. From the throat of the world to the depths of Blackreach, you can stop and admire an atmosphere that immerses you into a world that feels bigger than what you can see, and the diversity of those places even more so. This is Skyrim's greatest asset. These environments can be found anywhere, and I mean really anywhere. Every place you can see, you can go to. Any mountain, you can climb, even the ones you're not supposed to. If you know, you know. I don't think I ever played an open world game that felt this open, or rewarded my exploration, even if that reward isn't always loot. Skyrim is at its best when a beautiful song starts playing and you begin to look around at the world you're in. This world is filled with so many memorable people and places. If you ask anyone who's played Skyrim to list all the cities and characters they remember, you'd be amazed by how much they can recall. This game's characters are just oozing with personality. Of course, some more than others. I'm looking at you, Nazim.
Do you get to the Cloud District very often? Oh, what am I saying? Of course you don't.
You have committed crimes against Skyrim and her people.
But characters like Jarl Balgruuf, Serena, and Paarthurnax have such interesting stories that we remember them long after playing. Paarthurnax, I think, being the best example of this. A character whose story has you asking yourself deeper moral questions about the weight of one's actions and whether or not you can redeem them, or even deserve to redeem them in the first place. For thousands of years, Paarthurnax fought alongside his brother, the World Eater Alduin, killing people and enslaving them, for it is in a dragon's very nature to strive for power and domination. But upon his brother's spiral into madness and self-proclaimed godhood, Paarthurnax turned on his brother and taught the mortals the language of dragon speech, so they could fight back against the tyrant Alduin. Once the war was over, Paarthurnax isolated himself on the throat of the world to meditate and learn to control his nature so that he may not commit cruelty again. One of the game's quests tasks you with killing him for the atrocities he's committed in the past. But that's just it. Does Paarthurnax deserve to die? Paarthurnax knows he is good, but he doesn't think it's unreasonable for people to distrust him and wish him dead. While talking to him about this, he says one of the most interesting and thought-provoking lines of dialogue in gaming history.
I can be trusted. I know this, but they do not. Only Khan Niovdova. It is always wise to mistrust Adova. I have overcome my nature only through meditation and long study of the way of the voice. No day goes by where I am not tempted to return to my inborn nature. Zimkrifhorut se suyech. What is better, to be born good or to overcome your evil nature through great effort?
Such a profound question, and all for an NPC you might never even meet depending on how you're playing. I think Paarthurnax deserves to live, but the fact we are even thinking about it is a great example of what this game can do, and how memorable it is. And that's just a character. Places in this world are memorable too, and if you've played Skyrim, you know what I mean. You remember Whiterun for its welcoming nature and Dragon's Reach. You remember Solitude for its grand size and intricate buildings. And you remember Dawnstar, even if it's only because of the merchant chest that you can loot through the ground. Skyrim's cities are just as memorable as its characters. That's something not many games can give. How often do you think about a game and are able to remember almost everything about it? Not often. The combat of this game, although also memorable, won't be getting praised as much as the first 2 points. While combat is fun, it definitely leaves a lot to be desired, especially melee combat. Swords and axes feel light and weightless. When you swing them, it feels a bit like hitting a rock with a pillow. Not all combat styles suffer from this though. Classes like Mage and Archer are much more fun to play, and have a lot of diversity in their kits. Mage, I think, being the most fun, even with the late game damage scaling issues. Nothing's better than blowing up an enemy with a fireball, or forcing the enemies to fight each other with mind spells. Despite being more fun than most games, I think Skyrim's combat is its weakest point, and holds the game back from possibly being the greatest game ever. Even with that in mind, I don't think it ruins the game, or changes my love for it. Although I'm sure a good chunk of the love I have for this game is nostalgia. If nostalgia is what made it so good, I wouldn't find myself still playing it over and over. Heck, while trying to get footage for this video, I kept finding myself accidentally playing the game. If I even touch this game for a moment, I get pulled back into its world, and end up playing for hours. Part of me worries about Bethesda's next Elder Scrolls project. Not because I don't think they are capable of making a great game, but because how do you top a masterpiece like Skyrim? A game that is still relevant all these years later. I guess all we can do is hope. This game has been a big part of my life while I was growing up, and I want to thank Bethesda for giving me a world to get lost in all these years, and to tell you to play it if you've never given it a shot. Skyrim is a game with beauty, wisdom, and fun, and is what I believe to be the greatest RPG game ever made. And I just want to say thanks for tuning in.